Is it a sign of the times? Bed Bath & Beyond, the latest retailer to declare bankruptcy.
So what does it mean for customers and its employees? CBS 2's Christine Sloan reports.
A rush to this Bed Bath & Beyond in Springfield, New Jersey. Customers packing the store looking for deals after the company announced it would start the process of closing more than 300 stores across the country by June 30th.
It's really terrible. You know, I like to come in and feel the towels.
I love Bed Bath & Beyond. Have great things.
In 1971, this New Jersey store opened as Bed & Bath and expanded across the New York area. Customers Monday buying large items, trying to fit what they can in their cars. The store telling shoppers in a letter it won't accept gift cards after May 8th and will stop taking those popular coupons on Wednesday.
Did they care about the expiration of the coupons?
No.
When my kids went to college, I came here and I got, their bedding and all their plastic furniture.
But she feels bad for employees.
I just asked the person checking me out, I said, when did they tell you? She said they told her today.
Earlier this year, Bed Bath & Beyond notified the New Jersey Department of Labor that it would be cutting 1,300 jobs. This store in Watchung already closed. In court filings, Bed Bath & Beyond says it hopes to pull off a sale and keep some operations going. We asked several employees off camera if they'd be getting severance or a bonus. They said they didn't know. Business analysts say Bed Bath & Beyond's been in trouble for some time, but that the pandemic and the Amazon effect accelerated the company's demise.
First Republic Bank announced plans to lay off up to 25% of its workforce. The news came as the bank released its first quarter earnings. The bank also reports depositors pulled out more than $100 billion out of the bank, believing that First Republic could be the third bank to collapse after Silicon Valley Bank, and Signature Bank in New York. The bank made a partial recovery after several large banks stepped in and made $30 billion in uninsured deposits. First Republic now says 1,800, though, of its 7,200 workers could lose their jobs as it restructures.
Listen to the world of business now, because the tech giant Amazon has begun its third round of layoffs. Employees in its cloud computing and human resources department have faced the axe this time. Well, the latest round of layoffs come a month after Amazon's CEO, Andy Jassy, announced that the company will axe 9,000 employees. Well, this was in addition to the 18,000 employed who were shown the door, and that was in November last year. Meanwhile, Amazon also announced that it's shutting down its Halo division that sells health and sleep trackers. The company stated that it will stop supporting Halo services from July the 31st and will fully refund Halo device purchases made in the preceding 12 months. However, it is not yet known how many employees will be affected by the closure of the Halo division.
When Nixon in '71 took the dollar off the gold standard, what happened was that he violated Gresham's law. And Gresham's law says when bad money enters a system, good money goes into hiding. So in what happened in 71, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, guys like me started buying more gold. The second law is Triffin's dilemma, and that happened in 1944. What happened in 1944 at the Bretton Woods Agreement in New Hampshire? The world said that we agreed that the world would trade in US dollars. But now the Bretton Woods Agreement is falling apart because Triffin's dilemma meant the U.S. had to supply dollars to every central bank throughout the world. So we had to print probably quadrillions of dollars. And what happens is when the playground bully, the U.S., and the BRICS nations gang up against the bully, they say, take your dollars back. And when those dollars come roaring back into America, we have a thing called hyperinflation. And every time there's hyperinflation, guess what happens? Dictators arise. And when dictators arise, the murder starts. We haven't seen inflation yet. Is that what you were telling me?
That's exactly it, Robert. I couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly it. So you have a lot of people giving their synopsis of what they believe the future will look like within a bubble, assuming that we still are the world reserve currency. But if you just take a step back and see what's happening objectively, you can see that these alliances are being made to ultimately challenge the dollar for that right. And it's as simple as the rest of the world not needing to hold dollars to buy oil anymore. They will be dumped, and they will create massive inflation. And the byproduct of that is spiked interest rates. And when you look at the idiocy of all of the policy decisions that keep being made over and over and over again, both inside the country and outside the country, you have to wonder, was this done intentionally because they realize we're backed against a wall? You know, they talk about this quantitative tightening to normalize their balance sheets so that foreigners won't have to accept inflated dollars, but it started to break the banking system. We saw that. And so now in the last 3 weeks or so, they have erased 2/3 of all the quantitative tightening over the last 11 months in 3 weeks. They can't tighten, they can't normalize. They are going to have to inflate or default. So they've chosen inflation. We're back to quantitative easing again to bail out the banks. Under the table, we're easing. The rest of the world at some point says, why do I want to sell you our oil or anything that we produce for these dollars that are becoming worth less? And when the BRICS nations tell us that our new system will be pegged to commodities, and I believe it will be using the blockchain or distributed ledger technology, you call it the auditor. Blockchain is the auditor for the world to see what has been pegged backing this new system of transparency and of commodities back to a system that creates a value. The dollar used to be backed by gold. It had a value. It was as good as gold. That's what they will attempt to do, and do it the right way by pegging what every country pledges to distributed ledger technology on the heels, I believe, of the digital yuan, which they will roll out for the new BRICS settlement system. It's coming. And that is the scariest thought of all, is what does it mean when that happens? You know, Jim Rickards, who talked at your show, made a very interesting point about how the banking problems happened on a Sunday night. I've always said that's the way it's going to happen. You'll wake up Monday morning and it will be, oh my God, what just happened? Because in the middle of the night, while we're all sleeping, all of the OPEC members who are all on the Belt Road Initiative, they'll stand arm in arm, say, we've decided to now take we're going to take the yuan until the new BRICS currency is out, or whatever they say. Those dollars will start flooding home before we even wake up, and we'll wake up to interest rates spiking and markets limit down and the whole system in chaos. You have to be proactive to this. And when you see our allies like France breaking ranks and quietly, slowly backing out of the room, it should be a massive wake-up call to everybody that this is accelerating in pace when our own allies are saying, you know what, we have to protect our own interests as well.
Out of all this chaos, the dollar is going to come back in trillions. Hyperinflation, war breaks out, starvation increases. The question is, what do you do?